All right, guys, we're back with some more Monster Energy Supercross 4. Today we have 2022 Detroit. Now, this track, for me, we've had some tracks I felt like came out pretty much perfect, but this track I feel like is pretty much flawless. I don't feel like we made any mistakes. It's exactly the way it should be with the track map, and it came out awesome. I mean, it's a pretty standard Supercross track. 2 decent rhythm lanes, but the rest of it is pretty basic, and I'm not going to complain about it because Arlington I thought was pretty basic, but that track provided amazing racing. So I'm hoping that Detroit can do the same. And Indy, I believe Indy next week is a pretty basic track as well. So hopefully the next 2 tracks can be similar to Arlington of this year. But let's just jump into it and check out 2022 Detroit. 2022 Detroit, this track came out pretty much flawless in my opinion. We are on the KTM 252 stroke, and it does have some mod stuff on it by, I believe, Pay 2021. I think I've showed it before, but if you haven't seen it, that's who made it. Check it out. We are on PC. I will validate the track if you want to play it, but again, not on console. I'm sorry. Hopefully for Supercross 5, I do buy the game on consoles, and we can validate some tracks there for next year. But yes, this track, Detroit, has some different line choices you can take. I believe we take the small line here right away. We triple in. Yeah, get a wheelie, double, step on, step off, and then triple out. I built it to be taken 2 different ways. That is the secondary line through that section. But the best way through it is a triple quad. And then this section isn't that difficult. If you can hit that, it's kind of like whoops at the beginning. You can get out of sync on them and then mess up that triple, but for the most part, it isn't too bad. This section can be tough. Built it to be hit one way. Triple, pretty easy. And then quad. The quad can be tough. I'm glad we got it for you a few times really clean. That corner can be tough. I built that to be just the way the track map has it, where it has that raised outside and then the half loop on the inside. That corner is tough. If you ride that wall of that raised corner, you can crash. And you can mess up hitting the half loop. You kind of just have to tiptoe around it. It was a quad double. Forgot the double. That's the way I built that section to be hit. Isn't too difficult. The toughest part about doing this video, the track, some parts were tough, but when you race the AI, they suck so bad. I say it every video, but they are so bad on these custom tracks. Trying to get around them in a realistic way without, just KOing into them is really tough because they're unpredictable and annoying and, whatever. We case a bit there, but that quad and this corner, probably the 2 most difficult parts about the track. And I know that in real life, they probably, well, I'm not even going to say they won't because we put a bunch of quads on the track lately, and in real life, they've actually been hitting a lot of quads this year. I feel like they've hit more quads this year than they have for sure last year. So I'm not going to say they won't quad, but I feel like they might not take it this way, right? And I don't know what the track will be like. For the most part, they have stayed pretty true when they make the real track to the actual track map design. But like Daytona, I felt like Daytona had been, it had layout, but I felt like that track had been modified a decent amount. And the wall before that mogul section, wow, it was really similar to what we had in Supercross 1. It appeared to be, I thought it was going to be more of a wall, but it really wasn't a wall. They were kind of launching off of that into that rough section. It wasn't really whoops, it was just like a mogul section. So I think that our track could be pretty accurate to the way they do it in real life, and I'm really curious to see. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about the race. We do switch over to some third person here if you don't like the first person, and we finish out the race. But the 2022 Daytona, so both races were pretty good. The 250s, Lawrence won by like 10 or 15 seconds, I believe. So he was kind of all by himself. But the best racing was McAdoo having a battle with, who was he battling with? I think it was RJ Hampshire and Pierce Brown. That was a really, really good race between those guys for third place. And it just kind of went back and forth. And I think Hampshire made a mistake or a couple mistakes. And I think it was Styles Robertson who got second. And I was so pumped about that. I'm a big fan of Styles Robertson. And you could tell he was super stoked to get second place. But yeah, Jet Lawrence won it easy, but it was still a good race. And the 450s was a crazy battle between Webb and Tomac. Chase Sexton was in there for a while, but he kind of fell off the pace after Tomac got by him. But pretty much the entire race, those guys were anywhere between half a second to 1.5 seconds apart. And Tomac was going for his 6th Daytona win, to be the winningest Daytona rider of all time. And it just kind of felt like Webb was riding a great race. I don't believe he has ever won Daytona, at least not on the 450, so it would have been his first. I thought he was gonna get him early, but he never did. They just kind of went back and forth, and Webb rode a great race. He rode a fantastic race, but Tomac rode a tiny bit better. And he did get a bit of help. Unfortunately, some people are really upset about it. I mean, I was upset about it too, but it's racing. It happens. And I know Tomac said it was a gift, but I don't believe it was a gift. It just happens. Shane McElrath was in 13th or 14th place and was getting lapped by Webb and Tomac. And he was trying to get out of Tomac's way. I don't think he knew Webb was behind him, and then pinched Webb off after the whoop section before the offset jumps. And that's how Tomac got by him. I'm pretty sure Tomac was going to get him anyways. It just felt like he probably was going to, but it's kind of a bummer. It would have been cool to see Webb get the win, but I don't know, man. I'm so happy for Tomac being able to be the winningest Daytona rider of all time with 6 wins. That's crazy. That's such an accomplishment. Unbelievable. But let me know in the comments what you guys think, how you feel about it. How do you feel about the track at Detroit here? How do you feel about the race? Did you expect it? Whatever. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.